Fight of the night. No introduction needed. If the chat ain't alive for this one, then they ain't alive. They're bots from Russia. So if you can't get woken up for this one, that's crazy because this is easily the fight of the night.
I don't know about that.
Oh my gosh, here we go. So what's your taking on this? They came in, they did what they were supposed to do. If he doesn't take that leg kick to the nose, man, I don't even know. I don't think Justin loses, to be honest. But that kick to the nose threw him way off his game. And even Max said he was looking for the leg kick. It was something that he did that telegraphed it in the post press conference. So that's super interesting. What did you think of this fight from beginning to end?
So going to the fight, I thought Gaethje was going to destroy Max. I love both the fighters, but
Yeah, of course.
I thought Gaethje was going to be too much for Max. And boy, was I wrong. I thought Max won. He picked apart Gaethje. I had it going into the last round. It was either 4-0 or 3-1. I thought, and then Max easily won the last round. So it was either a 5-0 or 4-1 Max decision. And he picked him apart.
I had it at 2-2 going into the fifth round, but
2-2.
Yeah.
Ugh. Because I had 1, 3, and 5. Max easily won. 2 and 4 were, I guess, kind of closer.
No, 4 was definitely his only round that he won.
Gaethje.
Yeah, Gaethje won for sure. Now I was giving 2 to Holloway because it looked like he had a little more activity and one knockdown, I believe, in that second round. So
I had a 4-1 going in. Even without the freaking last second knockout, it would have been 4-1 Max.
No. Yeah, so it's kind of so obviously that's what everyone's saying is that for Holloway to say in the middle of the ring right now while I'm up and winning this fight is just unheard of, right?
Well, he did that against Ricardo Lamas right before he fought Max Holloway. Or not Aldo. Before Max Holloway fought Aldo, and when he fought Lamas, he did the same thing. And then that's what a BMF does.
Which is kind of disgusting, don't you think? I mean, just to go to the middle of the ring and just kill each other, it's like
he said, "Let's bang," and then they banged, and Max knocked him the freak out and got the finish. He got his moment, and he got $600K.
Ooh, yeah, he earned that. So if you're going to be the BMF champion, I mean, that's what you're expected to do. But I don't think it's good for the longevity of your life. If you're going to fight for that BMF title, you're going to get a little bit of brain damage. You don't want to. You don't want to put that belt up for title contention and hold it for too long because you're going to be like, I don't know if you've seen like, look at Mark Coleman and BJ Penn and freaking some of these older fighters. Yeah, Chuck. It's like, oh man, that's not cool. I don't want to see him like that. But it was a heck of a fight, definitely legendary. And that when you watch UFC, it's going to be one of those fights that say, they're going to show it in the highlights all the time, two warriors going at it. So
I don't think it was that great of a fight because I was watching the fight.
Yeah. Okay. I think everyone was watching the fight, but yeah, that was unbelievable. I thought it was just crazy. What did you guys think of in the fight in the chat? I mean, come on. You guys had to see this and you guys had to think that this is ridiculous the way they're going at it. And so I give the second one to him too because he got the 2 eye pokes. So that's a little bit ridiculous that they didn't take a point from him, don't you think?
I don't know. Well, they didn't take any freaking points from Chris Weidman.
I don't give an F. This is on UFC 300. Everyone's watching it, and that guy was a nobody. This is Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. So I thought they were going to take away the point for sure. So that's why I gave 2 to him, because he came back after the 2 eye pokes. Maybe the judges were a little bit swayed by that, and he was active, and he didn't take the 5 minutes. He said, let's go right away. I got no problem with this. What
Yeah,
do you
I think the freaking, I think the was it after the first or second round when Max broke his nose? I think that
yeah.
was a huge factor in it, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Once he broke his nose, it was like Ace was saying, you can't breathe out of your nose. You got to breathe out of your mouth, and this is round 1. Oh my gosh. And the pace was incredible. And this was kind of slow for their fights, but they were still pushing the pace pretty quickly, more than other fights. So
Yeah, well, that and like that's what Max is known for, is his cardio and
exactly.
his pace. You know,
Yeah.
once fourth and fifth round comes up,
Yeah.
championship rounds. That's when Max he puts it on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like freaking, Gaethje, you can't breathe out of your nose. He broke your nose. You got to fight
Exactly.
Max.
Exactly.
It's cardio wise, you're not beating Max, especially in volume. And Max, he just,
Absolutely.
yeah, he looked fantastic. That's all I. He
Yeah.
looked fantastic. I thought Gaethje was gonna win, and I was completely wrong. And man, Max looked very good.
So do you think that this will be his new weight? Ooh,
Um,
look at this.
well,
This is the cards right here. This is interesting. This is going to tell us right here what they
well,
had
the
it at.
well, I thought earlier, what the judge on the far right, he had
Yeah.
a 2-2. I didn't. I thought it was
Hold on.
3-1.
How do you know his political affiliation?
Who?
How do you know his political affiliation of the judge?
No, the Japanese guy, the judge on the right, on
Yeah,
the
I'm
far
just
right.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
But
Because you said far
I
right. Get it?
yeah, I
Thumbs
guess
up in
so.
the chat. Thumbs up in the chat. All
But
right. So the guy in the far right, what about him?
well, he had a 2-2 going into the fifth, which
That's what I said. That's what I
I
said.
I do not agree with that card.
Okay. And then what were the other ones? So it was 3-1.
It was 3-1.
Hmm.
I
So he
thought
would have
I
lost anyways.
Yeah, well, technically, but he would have lost 49-46, 49-46, and then 48-47. I
Yeah.
thought he won 4 or 5 rounds. I
Wow.
I can't I couldn't give two rounds to Gaethje.
Dang. Not even fourth. Well, fourth was definitely Gaethje's.
Yes, fourth was Gaethje's. I
Yeah.
rather give 5 rounds to Max than 2 rounds to Gaethje.
Wow. That's crazy. But
That's why I
okay. And
can't give
then
a fight. That's why I can't give a fight tonight, because I was watching it and I'm like, he's
whoa.
he's picking them apart, man.
That's crazy. So you're telling me that you gave some of these fights. So 1 out of 10, what do you give this fight then?
Um, it was
Yeah.
an 8.
Oh my gosh. So you haven't given any other fights above an 8. So which fight do you give fight of the night? Because, you know, you even according to your own logic, this is fight of the night.
Um, the finish was pretty epic,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
But there's no
after
doubt
like
about it. This was the best fight of the night. I was on my feet. I couldn't sit down. My hands were sweaty. Granted, I had money on it, but I had even forgot about the money. That's how exciting this fight was. And to see Max come up weight and just defy logic once again. I mean, didn't you think he was over last time but right before he fought Cater? It's like, okay, this is going to be a good fight, but Max is done. and then he defies logic. He comes up, gets the Volkanovski. Volkanovski beats him, and then he comes against Gaethje. You're like, okay, he's gonna fight, but he's over. And then he defies gravity, and now he gets to pick his shot. He gets to do whatever he wants. Everybody wants him. He's the new face of the MMA. I mean, not the new face, but the face that's going to be present currently. Obviously, Connor's going to take that spot for a little bit, but who's a better fighter? And who's going to stick around longer is probably Max. He's going to fight for maybe 3 belts.
So, well, obviously, I did not think well, first of all, I didn't like the matchup to begin with because I was like, oh man, I thought Gaethje was gonna win. I was like, it doesn't do much for Gaethje. And then, Max, he's gonna take a lot of damage. And then I want to see him fight for the belt, especially now that Volk is not the champ.
Yeah.
And
then so where do you think he goes from here, Max? If you had to pick, this is a tough thing to say, but what do you think? What do you think he comes? Well, I mean, what do you think? Who do you think he fights next? Who do you guys think he fights in the chat? Let's go.
Well,
stays at the weight, goes down.
Well, from what it sounded in the press conference and post fight, it sounds like he wants his 145 belt back.
It sure does, but I don't want to. He wants Ilytopia, but for him to lose that weight, I'm kind of like, man, maybe not. I don't think that's wise.
It's like you said. It's like you want the 145, you want the 155. He could. Max's next fight is going to be a title shot. It should be either at 145, 155. It could be whatever the heck he wants.
Exactly.
Then, I guess he's going to pick and choose. Maybe if Islam loses and Dustin wins, maybe he wants that rematch and he fights at 155 to be the Dustin, or maybe he just wants to be the 145 king. I don't know, but
I don't know why he's obsessed with 145. Maybe because he lost it. I mean, that has to obviously fit into something, and maybe personally. I mean, because who wants to cut weight?
Yeah, it's like, because I know Max, even like this whole time he's like, he does not like the weight cut, and the weight cut kind of messes him up. So at 155, it's a lot easier, and then, Max, he's like 31, 32 now, I think.
Exactly.
So it's a lot easier on him, but I guess unless he thinks he has unfinished business at 145.
He does definitely have unfinished business, but sometimes that business is not necessary. You could get a whole legacy going up at
155.
155. Oh, here we go. The man, the myth himself. We got the mouth from the south, the Michoacan mouth. Here we go. What did you think about that fight? Joe Mama.
Your mom's from the south.
All right, here he is. So what's your take on this fight? Did you? I don't know if you heard what we were talking about.
Can you put down the AJ fan Kayla's 37 years old thing?
What?
Oh yeah. My bad. Yeah, that's
How
true.
old is she?
How old is she? Yeah, how old is she?
I think she's like 32, 33.
Oh, I know she's upper 30. Because Holly's like 42, so she's like 5 years younger than Holly. But
I think she's way younger, man.
No, she's 30. She's mid 30s, maybe 32 at the lowest, maybe 34. But
you know what the freak? Freaking professor! You've been watching that on the screen for how long? I'm doing 30 different things. All you got to do is look at the screen and give me your take. You can't tell me to take that comment off. I mean, help me out, brother.
Well, it wasn't affecting me until you said we got something going on. And I'm like, who's coming on? I have no idea.
Well, it's affecting the show, and they think I'm an idiot. You know what I mean?
Well, you
but let me make me look like an idiot. Okay, go ahead.
That comment doesn't make me an idiot. You make you an idiot. But
so, what do you think about the Max Holloway fight? What's your take on it?
Before the legend of Max grows,
Oh,
We were talking about what happens if Connor wins. If Connor wins,
that's a good
I think
question.
I
Yeah.
think he calls out Max for BMF because he don't want a real fight, right?
Ooh, bro, that's $100 million fight right there. That's a
Yeah,
Mayweather fight. Now
I,
that
exactly.
yeah,
Max,
That
I
that
was not
fight,
thinking about that.
that fight, bro,
Yes.
that's like blows the
My
fucking universe
gosh.
out the water.
Oh my
Breaks every
gosh.
pay-per-view record. You do that one in a fucking football stadium. Not only that,
It's a
bro,
rematch
Allegiant
too,
Stadium,
they
and
Allegiant,
fought
it's a
Allegiant.
rematch.
they fought before.
Holy,
It's a rematch. It's redemption for Max. It's two of the most popular stars. And not only that, Max is not going to take Connor down to the ground. Even if he wants to, he's going to keep it standing. And then
yeah,
you're going to get the best of both worlds. And Max probably wins, right? And gets bigger, right? For sure.
holy smokes. I don't know if Max wins that fight, but
Not only that,
probably,
are you Max more than just
probably.
cardio, bro?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Max
But
more
who do
than
you
Well,
think
just
hits
Connor
cardio.
has
harder? Obviously,
well,
Connor hits harder than
well,
Gaethje.
No,
Connor
Connor
has
doesn't hit
one
harder
and a
than
half
Gaethje.
rounds to beat him.
Connor hits harder at Gaethje
Yeah,
at 145, not at 155. Connor's
yeah,
power
you're not going to
didn't
get,
travel.
honestly, yeah, Professor brings up a good point. You're not going to get Connor for 5 rounds. So,
He'll sign a fight
yeah,
for 5 rounds to be the
he'll
main
sign
event.
the fight,
It ain't
but
gonna
that
go
ain't
5 rounds,
happening.
but yeah, he
It'll go
will
5 rounds.
for that much money. I don't know, but no. But to answer your question, Connor's like when some people move up, Connor's power did not trend go up, right? He doesn't have that
Yeah,
power he did at
yeah,
145. So Dustin probably has more power, consistent power at 155, and Gaethje. So I'm not worried. And then,
absolutely.
like Professor said, everyone knows you with Connor, you got one round to worry about. You survive that, and Connor and Max's cardio gets better and better as the fight goes and his pace goes up. He'll drown
Yeah,
Connor by the round 3. So, uh, and then Max would be talking shit. I mean, it'd be a great fight. It'd break all the fucking records, and it's a weight that Connor could fight 155, right? Max would even do it at
yeah,
170. That's his walking weight. So Max would
yeah.
love to fight at 170. Connor, the bigger he gets, the slower and the worse his cardio is. But yeah, that's
Gosh,
the
look how
fight to make.
skinny Max looks in this.
But that's the fight
Holy
to make.
smokes.
And not only that, it's not going to hold with the divisions like if you do other divisions and shit. Because Connor doesn't deserve a division champ, right? He doesn't. He can't. The
No,
fans will
no
be
one wants to
pissed.
see him fight
No,
Islam.
no one wants to see him
No,
fight for 170, 155 belt, 145 belt. But if you put him for a BMF belt, who gives a shit, right? It's not a real fucking weight class.
I would like him to. I would like him to fight for a belt if he's like all
And look
in
at
and he's
this.
gonna
And look at this.
lay off the
And
steroids. And
if Max wins, Max is already a stratospheric fucking superstar. If Connor
he's
wins, man,
he's
Connor could.
32.
If Connor wins, man, Connor sleeps fucking Max.
Max.
I mean, Connor could fight anyone for the BMF, even people at 170 that couldn't fight for 155.
I think you run into a problem because Max is obsessed with beating Volkanovski. So I don't
I
know.
don't think so. I think he just wants that belt back, the 145 belt, which I think that's the best way for him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think maybe he thinks I could beat Ilitopia and then go over to the bigger weight after that. So I think he sees him and he
He
thinks,
already beat Taporia. Taporia's
"Oh,
scared.
okay, all right, yeah." I was just going to play that. That's funny. I had that all queued up. Let's see the call out right here. Do.
At 4 minutes.
Oh, with Taporia, he looks scared, bro.
Well,
UFC.
let's see.
He looked like he
I don't
took 2
think
Benadryls and he was asleep or something.
I don't think he looks scared. Yeah, I love the
Hey,
Benadryl, but
he doesn't want none of that Max.
no.
What
No.
fuck?
Because once he got the knockout they showed him, he was like, "Oh, what the freak?" Because he's having fun. He's a fan. He's reacting. And then he just kind of the camera panned to him when he said that. He didn't expect the call out and everything. He wasn't going to be all pissed. He never expected the call out. He didn't know
Why
what
not?
to expect. He was
Why
caught
not?
off
Max
guard
is the
by the whole
greatest.
fight.
Max is the greatest 145er to ever fight. So why would he not expect that? And Max is not young. Max isn't old. He's still young.
You don't think it's Conor McGregor?
Not even close.
No.
Connor didn't even defend 145, dude. What are you talking about?
It's
Okay,
either
well,
Connor or
you
Max.
don't know. You don't
Not
know.
Connor.
Jose,
Aldo.
it's Jose,
Aldo or Max.
and then Max. Max defended it.
Aldo
cleaned up
got
the
knocked out by
division.
Connor. Come on.
Yeah, but
Okay, so what?
Connor never
and
defended the belt.
how many times did he defend? You can't be the best champion. You never defended it, the fucking weight class. Let alone even if you defended it once or twice. Connor cleaned up the
But-
division. I mean, Max cleaned up the division. Jose was undefeated for 10 years in the division.
Yeah. By the way, Jose is fighting in the next UFC. So you can
He's the
fight.
co-
You can
he's,
find your goat.
he's the co-main event. Garbage
Yeah.
card.
Are
Only
you
'cause it's in
excited to see
Brazil.
that?
Only because it's in Brazil.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Hey, first things first, give it up to Gaethje, a real BMX. He had so much to lose and nothing to gain from this fight.
That's
But he
true.
gave it to me
No,
for
he
you
lost a
guys.
lot.
Yo, break the
Legacy.
roof forever. Come on, louder. Let's get it.
Yeah, get it a little bit louder.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever fight in this sport. The
Ooh.
fact that you have won the BMF title is so appropriate. The fact that you stood there with 10 seconds to go and pointed at the center of the octagon and
Yeah.
put that against your way. It's one of the most special performances I've ever seen in my life.
All I gotta say, I'm him. I'm him, guys.
Ooh.
Guys, there's an El Matador. He is running away from a move at 145. Tell him sign the gun contract. Spain, Hawaii, wherever. Or even
God.
Islam. Islam is famous for defending against 45ers, right? I'm here. I'm right here.
What the freak, little kid?
It was one of the most special performances I've ever seen. A lot of people thought you were outgunned in this fight, but
Great.
you used
Look
Did he
scared.
even understand? Did he even understand English at that point? I mean,
Oh, he
God.
knows English. He's trying to play like he's trying
He
to
looked
play
like
dumb,
he-
dude.
He looked like he saw
Yeah.
a T-Rex and he didn't know what to do.
He's
Holy
like, I don't
smokes.
speak English.
Hey, me no know how to fight no more.
He said, "We got the
Yeah.
Matador right here, dude." He
Shit.
came
He
prepared.
said, I'm the bull. You're the matador dodging me.
Great.
You know,
and then he,
he could have been like, bring it on, bitch. Let's go.
that's true.
But
That's
no.
true.
He was just like,
He's like a
¿qué?
deer, he's like a deer in headlights.
I not speaking the English.
Hey, but he was all crazy with old man Volkanovski. Why ain't he going all crazy with old man freaking Max Holloway? Yeah.
He's scared, dude.
Interesting. Yeah. So what do you think happens? What's your play? What is going to happen, Ace, with Max, and what's going to happen with Gaethje? What's their path?
Well, I think
Next
dumb
fight.
How you say Gaethje legacy. He's like a stupid ESPN guy when you saying shit like
That's
that.
just my opinion. It's
Okay,
going
I'm
to
telling
get.
you.
Wait, hold on,
I'm
hold
telling
on.
you,
You brought it
stupid.
up. Now let me
No.
defend myself.
No,
Let me
no,
defend
and
myself.
It's a statement. It's
No,
not a
hold on.
question.
Because Gaethje, look,
no,
it's
that's what
like
makes people. That's
Charles
what makes
Barkley.
the UFC good. That's what makes the UFC good.
It is what makes the
fight
UFC
fights,
good.
you
You
fight
put that
things,
on the
record doesn't
line,
matter.
and if you lose
Max-
it, you're going to be
Lose what?
less.
No.
If you
No.
lose the fight when you go to be great, you're going to be less. Connor was less because he lost to Khabib, not because he fought Khabib. You know,
Conor
he
was
doesn't
less
become
because he's been
more.
shit the last 8 years. That's why, not because he lost to Khabib.
I'm just telling you that Jim Elway. I mean, Jim.
Okay, there you go.
Jim
Keep
Kelly. Jim
Yeah.
Kelly is not the
Football
greatest
is
quarterback
not,
of all
football is
time.
Not MMA. Football's not MMA.
It's the same concept when you think about legacy in mind. When you think of Michael
No,
Jordan and he's
when you think of
undefeated
UFC, when you
in
think of UFC greats,
championships.
you think of when you think of UFC greats, you don't think of anyone that has an undefeated bloated record that didn't fight nobody. You think of guys
Yes.
that had wars like Anderson Silva, like Dan Henderson.
So who's the
Cain
GOAT of
Velasquez.
UFC? Who's the GOAT of UFC?
John
You'll
Jones.
prove my point right now.
John
You'll
Jones.
prove my point right now. Go ahead.
Anderson
John Jones.
Silva.
John
Jones.
Anderson
Jones.
Silva.
There's no question. It's John
Not even
Jones.
close. Nope.
I don't know. Ask anyone. Fight fans. Ask Dana White.
That's fine.
Oh.
Different era. You give a shit.
What's that? So
What's
it's
what?
like, no, I mean, I just heard crickets. So ask Dana White, the owner of the UFC. He'll tell you that because John Jones he's been in wars, 18 title defenses or 16 or something like that. But Anderson Silva ruined his career when he lost. And not ruined it.
lost
You know
what?
what I'm saying?
When he
He's
lost
still
fight, he
a
lost
great.
multiple fights.
But when you're talking about the top 10, it gets so picky. It gets so picky that you're going to have to do these things like Gaethje, and you're going to have to say, well, he did lose that BMF fight against Max Holloway, and you're always going to
Who's
say,
the GOAT?
well, this. I'm not saying that he's not a great. All right, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. You understand what I'm saying,
No,
right?
I don't. Especially the way Max fights. That's why people like him, because he goes for broke. Because he had that war with Chandler. He had that war with Poirier. He had the war with fucking before he came here in PFL when he with Eddie Alvarez in those fights. I mean,
Well, Max, honestly, she should be like up there in the question of the GOATs, but
why?
because
Not
he
to
lost
you. According
fights,
to you, he has lost. He lost to.
and that is
Poirier
according to me.
twice.
He won't be. He will never be in that conversation, right?
Okay.
I
You
mean,
should
he
be-
will never
you
get
should
that.
be- You'd be a great boxing analyst since you love blood.
I'm just saying that's the way it is, and it's that's the way it is, and it's never going to change in people's minds. You know, he'll never get that. He'll never be in that GOAT conversation.
He already
That's-
is. That's
unfortunately.
he's the GOAT at his weight class. What do you mean? There's
Okay,
no one
but the
better
GOAT
than him
at-
at his weight class.
Okay, what do you think? You be the tiebreaker, Mr. Professor, because I'm tired of
What you're
schooling
saying,
this kid.
How can you say you're the GOAT, compare a 145er to a heavyweight? There you go. By your own definition, it's not even the same category.
No,
So,
because we
John
say
Jones-
go to basketball, and they could tell a center and a guard, and we're going to say who's the greatest of all time. We're going to say Michael Jordan.
Not even
Never
close.
lost the championship, but they're totally different positions.
He has
Obviously,
a-
he's not the greatest center.
He has a lot of losses in his career, doesn't he?
Yeah, but the thing that's on people's minds is he never lost a championship. What don't you understand? My gosh, this is
You sound
what
like
it
you're
is.
trying to be Skip Bayless and just trying to get your
No, this is the truth.
emotional outcome up because you're in your period.
Okay, but this is the truth. I look at any GOAT of any sport, and this is the person that lost the
And those
least.
are all sports. This is a combat fight where they're trying to kill each other. It's not a sport. It is a sport,
I
but
know.
it's a combat sport where they're fighting.
No.
It's not
Which is
they're
it,
playing cupcakes and
interesting.
they're gonna.
The only GOAT that would kind of defy that would be Muhammad Ali, because he did lose a bunch of fights. Nobody remembers those fights, but I guess you could say Mike Tyson might be a GOAT. But who's the GOAT of boxing? It's probably Muhammad Ali, right?
I don't know.
What do you think, Professor? You breathe a tiebreaker and tell him the truth. Unfortunately,
In boxing, I guess it's
No.
Lee or like Floyd. I don't know. I don't really watch boxing that much.
Yeah,
I know,
according
but
to you, it's Floyd. According to your logic, it's Floyd Mayweather.
It could be he's in that GOAT conversation because
It
because he's
shouldn't-
40 and
it shouldn't
0.
It shouldn't be a conversation. It should be unanimous.
But
He's 50 and 0.
MMA wise, it's
It's John Jones,
well, I think John's number one. Yes, Max is
and that
he's top 10.
yeah, he could be top 10. That's fine, but that don't mean anything because everybody talks about the GOAT conversation, the greatest of all time. So that number one spot, and if you're in the conversation, that's what it is. Now, let's say he gets 3 belts or does something that no one else has ever done. He'll be in that GOAT conversation. He's not going to be in that GOAT conversation right now. So, I mean, Anderson Silva kind of took himself out of the GOAT conversation. He was the GOAT. He was the GOAT. Anderson Silva was the GOAT. And then with those,
Anderson Silva's still top 3, even
not
with
even
his
close.
past. You know, even what he did with his garbage at the end of his career, he's still top
it's
3.
so many bad fights. So many bad fights.
Yeah, but that's the end of his career. That's when he's like done.
Exactly. Like right now, nothing Jose does in the last 5 fights. Is it affecting his prime? What he did on his run? To me,
Wow,
it's
that's
the end.
interesting. So you don't take their
It's like-
whole career into question. That's just weird.
Well, they
No.
fought because they needed money, like BJ Penn. BJ Penn was great, but you know he took a bunch of fights. He got knocked out. He just he wanted to make some like Chuck. Chuck was awesome, but Chuck's chin
Fine.
went out, and you know he wanted to make some money and he kept on fighting, and I guess it messed up his legacy, but it wasn't. You know, because he sucked. He was just he wanted to make some money.
Do you put Demetrius Johnson in the GOAT conversation?
He's really good. He should be, but he probably won't be.
And it's not his fault that the fighters weren't there. In fact, Anderson Silva really, who did he fight?
He beat Chael twice. He beat
Oh, he beat Chael
He beat-
Sonnen twice, who never held a championship. Okay, who else did he fight? He fought a school teacher. He fought a school teacher.
Oh,
He
Rich
fought,
Franklin.
But
yeah.
you're saying a school teacher. Rich Franklin cleaned out the division before Anderson Silva came here. He beat everybody multiple times.
I think
And then
I
he
think the
got
division was
destroyed
a
by
little
Anderson
bit
Silva
weak.
twice. He
I think the
cleaned it
division
out,
No.
and then he
No,
dominated that division, and he was a part.
Finding Demetrius
Anderson murdered
Johnson is the
him.
GOAT.
Why are you yelling? Who's talking about Demetrius? Now we're talking
I'm
about.
not yelling. I'm
Different
saying
weight
Demetrius
class.
Johnson, because his class was so weak. That's why he's not in the GOAT conversation. Don't you guys factor that in? And the way I'm thinking about it too is Michael Jordan. They said, "Stay away, stop it, stop playing, retire because you're the GOAT. Yeah, we don't want to see you in a Washington Wizards. That's not the last thought we want to have of you." And when you have the last thought of Anderson Silva, I have him fighting Adesanya or something, right? What do you think? Hello? Uh-oh, we lost the professor.
I don't know. I don't know what you're
Oh.
talking about.
I'm talking about the GOAT conversation. I'm talking about Anderson Silva fighting all those garbage fights. Isn't that the last thought you have of him?
Well, he was even when he got to the UFC, he was like in his mid-30s.
Yeah, he was in his mid-30s, so that kind of hurts him. So you got to take the what it is before, right?
Well, he held the belt for like it was like freaking like 7-8 years. He was the champion.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he was not only was he beating people, he was freaking destroying dudes.
I think in the new era, you kind of look at how many super fights they have, how many things they've done that have never been done before. Isn't that kind of, don't they add on all these extras now just because it's so hard? And would Royce Gracie be in your GOAT conversation?
Well, who's Silva gonna fight? Like, let's say he does a
He
super
could have
fight.
gone up a division. That's what they do now to distance
Well-
themselves from other people.
Well, he's gonna fight John. He's not gonna want to fight John.
But if you want to be great, see that this is kind of the thing that I love about Adesanya. He went up and fought Jan.
Well-
He went
well,
up and he
GSP
said, "I want to be the
GS
greatest ever."
Well, look at GSP. GSP could have fought Silva. He's like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna fight Silva.
Yeah. And you know what? If Adesanya doesn't go up and fight Jan, he could probably still have that record where it just says, "Wow, he's still the champion. He's still the champion." And he defended it so long and he just stayed in his division and cleaned it out over and over again. But he went out
Well,
and
he
found challenges.
Well, when he fought Jan, he didn't lose his belt. He still lost it to freaking Alex, and then he lost it again against Strickland.
So, I mean, do you ever, when you risk it on something like Jan, doesn't that work against him? It's like a mark. Okay, this is something that people can point at that says, okay, he kind of came up short here. And when they're looking at the GOAT conversation, they're looking for all the shortcomings, right? Isn't there? Do you say fighting Jan was a shortcoming?
No, because when he fought Jan, I had a 2-2 going to the 5th round, and he lost it. But then he fought Alex at 185, got knocked out.
Yeah.
And then he avenged his loss, and then he fought Strickland, and then he got dominated. What did freaking Andrew Silva do? He defended the belt, dominated.
Yeah.
The first fight against Weidman, he got cocky. He lost it.
Yeah.
And the second fight, he broke his leg in the first round.
Do you think?
Are you gonna say?
Yeah, I am. I am gonna use that against him. I mean, he could never beat Weidman. I mean, because you understand what I'm talking about, where you got to be nitpicky, right?
Yeah, you got to be nitpicky.
Yeah.
Do I think Silva's number one? No, Silva. I think it's Jan, GSP, Silva, and then Mighty Mouse. I don't think Silva's number 1 or 2.
But look at GSP. Everybody knows he's like a little punk and he stayed away for so long. But when you look at his record, nobody can say anything because he was smart. He picked his battles and he stayed away. While just like Floyd, everyone finds it to be stupid, but he knew that it would work against him. if he picked the wrong battle. That's what I think, in my opinion, him being so nitpicky. Everybody knows he was nitpicky and he was dodging people. Don't you think?
Who, Mayweather? Yes.
No,
I
George
think-
St. Pierre. George St. Pierre.
I think after he lost to Sarah, he got kind of like, you know what, I can't lose. Well, even John, John, when he used to fight in his early
Yeah.
career, he
Yeah.
used to be crazy. He used to come out, go
Yeah,
flying
rolling.
knees, he used to do some crazy
it.
stuff. And then after
Yeah.
a while, he's like, you know what, I'm not doing that. I'm just
That's what I
gonna
was
wait
saying.
it out, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna. If I win a decision, I win a decision because
Exactly.
when he fights Shogun, he's coming out flying knees, doing all this stuff, and after
Yeah.
that, he's like, "Nah, that's not our game plan."
Yeah. I mean, we worked through this, so speaking of the next fight, Pereira, I think that he had a chance. Man, I really wish he didn't get knocked out by Adesanya, because my gosh, he had a chance to go for that GOAT, and I mean, you got to build up some kind of legend to get that